Boys, today we're making a Doctor Who tier list.
I love Doctor Who. I used to watch it all the time when I was a little boy.
You wouldn't have been a little boy when this show first came out, Sleepy Joe. You're around 5 centuries old about now, so you would have been no older than 450 years old.
Shut the fuck up, Donald, you wrinkly tangerine.
Guys, can we please get through one tier list without being at each other's throats?
Fine, let's just get started.
All right then, let's get into it. What do you guys think of Series 1?
Easy S tier.
I think S tier is a bit too high, Donald. It reintroduced both the Doctor and the Daleks to a new audience, and I think Christopher Eccleston was a great Doctor who should have stayed longer. But I think it's a bit generic compared to seasons we get later. I fell asleep during half the episodes.
Joe, you fall asleep while eating ice cream. And that has got to be the single worst fucking take I've ever heard on this series.
Honestly, I agree with Donald. Series 1 brought back the cult classic in a fresh and exciting new way. It had lots of memorable episodes and monsters, as well as having a great overarching story. I think it goes in S tier.
Yeah, put it in S.
You can't be serious. It's not that good.
Okay, to make Joe happy, I'll put it in A tier. Up next is Series 2.
S tier, S tier, S tier. David Tennant is the best Doctor, and him and Rose are the best duo this show has ever had. Plus, we got one of the best finales in the show's history.
While it undoubtedly has a great finale, Donald, the 10th Doctor and Rose were not a very good pairing in my opinion. This series also didn't have many memorable or even good episodes outside the Cybermen two-parter.
Fuck you, Barack Joe. Back me up on this.
Can't do that, Donald. Series 2 is a B tier at most. It isn't bad, but it isn't great. The only reason you like it so much is because you think Rose is a smoking hot babe.
Shut up, Sleepy Joe. You like little boys?
I'll put Series 2 in B tier.
I hate you both so much.
We have Series 3 now. I personally think this one's an S tier.
I can definitely see that. The Master's Return was great, and the episodes were all fun and memorable. It also has the 2 Family of Blood episodes, which I think are the best 10th Doctor episodes and some of the best in the show's history.
I wouldn't argue against S tier for this series. The only bad thing I'd say about it is that Martha is a bit of a bland and forgettable companion.
Fuck off, Sleepy Joe. Martha is top tier. I think her decision to leave the Doctor is a great scene and brings a change to all the tragic companion endings we've gotten over the years.
Okay, I think we all agree that this series belongs in S tier. I don't think we'll even need to discuss this next one. Series 4.
This series is the best gift God has given us since ice cream. The 10th Doctor and Donna are my favorite. Almost every episode is God tier, and the finale is a love letter to the David Tennant era of the show.
For once, I agree with Joe. If there was ever a perfect Doctor Who series, it's this one. Everything was done flawlessly, and Donna's goodbye makes me tear up every time I see it. I can't wait for her and the Doctor to meet again in the 60th anniversary.
If there was ever an S tier, it's this series. A pretty easy placement, if you ask me. Up next are the 2009 specials.
These specials are all horseshit. The Next Doctor is stupid, Planet of the Dead is boring and unoriginal, and The End of Time is the most over-the-top melodramatic send-off to David Tennant that you could come up with. Waters of Mars is the only decent episode, and even that's just above mediocre in terms of quality.
Donald, you could not have a worse opinion if you tried. Waters of Mars is a masterpiece and is one of Tennant's best episodes. The Next Doctor is a little silly, but it makes up for it with the heart and soul the creators put into it. And The End of Time may be a little over the top in areas, but I think it worked as a nice send-off to the 10th Doctor. I don't disagree about Planet of the Dead, though. Shit episode.
Pretty much my thoughts, Barack. More good than bad, but the bad really weighed the good down. I give them B tier.
Seems about right.
You fucking idiots, they're F tier through and through.
Sorry, Donald, they're going in B tier. Time for Series 5.
Amy Pond is hot, but the series really doesn't hold up looking back at it. Most episodes were mediocre at best and really bad at worst. The overarching story is also confusing and makes no sense. I also don't really like the 11th Doctor, especially when compared to the 10th. He's too childish and silly for me. D tier series.
Fuck off, Donald. You wanted Series 2 in S tier, and now you want Series 5 in D tier. Do you have any class?
I have more class than you'll ever have, you worn-out geriatric fuck.
I agree with Joe here, Donald. Series 5 is a great season. I thought Matt Smith was a nice change of pace from David Tennant, and I loved the fairy tale atmosphere that this series created. It had one of the best overarching narratives, and I love Amy Pond and Rory as companions. I say S tier.
You better not fucking put that in S tier.
The 11th Hour is one of the best episodes of the show and the best opener to a new Doctor ever. The Weeping Angel episodes were golden, and even the James Corden episode was really good. Nowhere to put it but S tier.
S tier it is.
Shit.
Series 6. Honestly, I didn't really like this series.
I didn't think it was bad, but it could have been a lot better considering the ambition behind it. The story arc was really confusing and hurts my head to think about.
Joe, everything hurts your head to think about, but I agree this series had the ambition but didn't commit. Instead, we've got a series that tries so hard to be a wide, interconnected story, but fails miserably. It has some good episodes, though. The one where the TARDIS becomes a woman is my personal favorite.
Of course it is, Donald. But yeah, I'd say there were some hits and misses with this series, but mainly misses. How does C-tier sound?
Yeah, C-tier's okay.
This will be interesting. Series 7.
This is a weird series. The first half with Amy and Rory is really bad, but I think the second half with Clara and the 50th anniversary special is really good.
I think Series 7, Part 1 is the worst the show got before Series 11, but Part 2 wasn't that much better in my opinion. Clara was pretty boring in her first series, I'm not going to lie.
I agree with both of you that the first half of the series is a dud, but I enjoyed Part 2 and I think it was consistent in its quality outside of a couple of episodes. And who can say they didn't like Day of the Doctor?
Who indeed, Barack. Day of the Doctor brought back David Tennant and Rose, so that already makes it perfect. But then they brought Tom Baker back and have all 13 Doctors save Gallifrey together. S-tier episode.
Day of the Doctor was great, all right, but I enjoyed Time of the Doctor as well. It was a beautiful swan song for the 11th Doctor. Probably the best regeneration story in the history of the show.
This is a hard placement. I think it would be A-tier if the first half of the season didn't exist. But it does exist, so how does B-tier sound?
That's fine.
Now we have Series 8. This is a controversial one.
F-tier. Boring as fuck. I don't like Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, and Clara, while a little bit more interesting than before, still isn't enough to save this piece of shit of a series.
Fuck you, Donald. This is easy, S-tier. Peter Capaldi is a great Doctor, and he's hilarious in the role. Clara is also great in this series. The episodes are all great, especially the one with all the cute little school kids wandering in the forest.
Joe, what the actual fuck is wrong with you?
I agree with Joe here for the most part. I think this series had a lot of strengths and had some great episodes like the finale. Missy is also a great character and the best incarnation of the Master, in my opinion. This series did have some bad episodes, though, which weigh it down. And I don't feel they did all they could with the Doctor's character arc this season. I say B tier.
No, Barack, it's S-tier.
You're both incorrect. It's an easy F tier.
It's going in B.
Shit.
Series 9. Now, before we discuss this series, can we all just agree that Heaven Sent is the best episode of Doctor Who ever made?
Can't argue with the truth, Barack. That episode is a masterpiece.
There are a few things we all agree with, but this is one of them. Heaven Sent is masterclass in how to make an Emmy-winning television episode.
Okay, now we've got that out of the way. I'll say that I think this series is pretty mid.
This series is pretty shit, I'll be honest. Peter Capaldi went from a cold-hardened grandpa back into Matt Smith, which was a disappointment. I also didn't love a lot of the stories, especially the finale episode. Capaldi playing the electric guitar on a tank was pretty sweet, though.
Yeah, and then he made a cringy joke and ruined it all. Clara's goodbye was also really stupid. D-tier series.
Yeah, I like Capaldi, and even I think this series belongs in D.
I don't know, boys. I feel like that's a bit low. I mean, it does have Heaven Sent. And I don't think all the episodes were horrible.
Fine, put it in C-tier then.
Okay, now we're at Series 10.
I think it's A-tier. The finale was great, and I thought Twice Upon a Time was a great way to send off the 12th Doctor. I also thought the concept of the Doctor teaching at a university as a professor was cool.
While the finale is great and Twice Upon a Time was okay, the same can't be said for the rest of the series. Pretty mid, if you ask me. The companions are forgettable, especially Bill, and the Doctor going blind is a stupid arc. I do think Missy's redemption arc was well done, though.
Donald's right. This series had some up and had some downs, but I think the ups this series had were really high and allow us to look over some of the downs. I'm thinking B tier.
That feels too high for me, but it's an all right compromise for the three of us.
Okay, now we get to the dog shit Chibnall era. Do I even need to ask what you think of Series 11?
Fucking F tier. This is honest to God the worst piece of fucking television I have ever seen. Jodie Whittaker is the shittiest Doctor. The companions are boring and bland, and the stories are so horrible I had to stop watching some of them halfway through. There was also some guy in one of the episodes that was supposed to be an allegory for me, which makes no sense as he was a complete dick that no one liked, and I'm an angel that everybody loves, so that confuses me.
The Orange Man is actually completely right for once. This series is on a new scale of horrible, and it still baffles me how this piece of shit made it to television. No episode was good except the Dalek one.
I agree with both of you. This is a bad series through and through and a very easy F tier. I'd say it's the worst series in the entire show's history.
Oh no, Barack, there's one worse than this.
Are you talking about Series 12?
You're damn right I am. The Timeless Child arc is a spit in the face to the 60-year legacy of Doctor Who, and it shits in the mouth of William Hartnell, the first Doctor. Every episode was shit. The Doctor and companions were somehow worse this series than the last, and we are given the worst master that's ever plagued the show.
I agree with most points, Donald, but I didn't mind the new master. I thought he was pretty okay.
Go suck a little boy's dick, Sleepy Joe.
There's no need for that, Donald. While I agree with most of your points, I do like the Master this series, and I honestly think the Doctor and the companions are an improvement from the last series. It's still not good, though. In fact, it's still absolutely horrible. I say E tier.
Seems right.
Fuck off, it goes below the F tier. It doesn't deserve to be higher than Series 11.
Let's go to Series 13. Now, honestly, I don't think it's as bad as Jodie's first two series, but I don't think it's very good either.
Flux is an incoherent clusterfuck. It tries to do what Series 6 did and fails yet again. Absolute hot garbage. Easy F tier.
Hold on, Donald. I actually didn't mind Series 13. It had some decent episodes like the Sontaran and Weeping Angel ones. I do think the overarching narrative was a bit messy, though, and could have been thought through more. I also thought the main villains were kind of cool.
Get fucked, Sleepy Joe. This series is F tier, and Barack agrees.
Sorry, Donald. I actually agree with Joe. It's not perfect, but it tries some new things and has some actual good episodes in it. Jodie finally feels like the Doctor in some of her episodes as well, although it shouldn't have taken this long for it to happen. Joe, what do you think?
I think it belongs in D tier.
Yeah, let's put it in D.
Fine.
Last and definitely least, we have the 2022 specials.
F tier.
Hold on, guys. Eve of the Daleks was an absolute mess, and Legend of the Sea Devils was the worst episode in the show's history. But Power of the Doctor was pretty good, I thought. Surely that brings it up to E tier at least.
Nothing can bring up Legend of the Sea Devils Barack.
Sleepy Joe's right, that shit is irredeemable. Although Power of the Doctor brought back a lot of old faces, and even had Jodie regenerate into David Tennant at the end. Maybe put the specials in E tier.
Done. Okay then, our tier list is finally finished.
All right, I'm happy with most of these rankings. Still don't get how Series 12 is in E, though.
Okay, boys, I'm going to go get some ice cream.
Yeah, I'm going to go too.
Okay, then bye.